So welcome to a brand new Duel Links video. The upcoming updates for April 2022 are finally here. A little bit delayed than last month, so don't know what I was thinking, but we're getting quite a bit for April, and there's actually some really cool things that are historic for Duel Links, and that's only a good sign for what's to come with the game going forward, I think. So let's dive into, first of all, the KC Cup for April 2022. One of the worst periods for Duel Links ever. You know my stance on this. I don't mind the KC Cup, right? It's a great event. PvP, daily gems, lots of rewards, but there's nothing else going on except the tour guide mission bingo. I really think there should be something else going on alongside, even if it's just a roaming event, right? Or like a super duelist, bring those back. I think that'd be fine. But just having the KC Cup as your only event, when otherwise all you can only play is PvP, it's a little disappointing for me personally, but the brand new card, Emergency Assistance, is actually getting changed from its TCG version to basically remove this main phase 2 condition, which is perfectly fine, and it buffs the card. I would love to see this, more of cards in the TCG that are main phase 2 reliant getting buffed for Duel Links, because it's basically just a reborn, below for monster in a graveyard. It's an okay card, it's not going to shake the meta up at all, but for a free event card, it really isn't that bad at all. Then moving on to mid-April, we have Aporia coming back to the gate, which is perfectly fine. It makes sense because the next event is the Duel Chronicles 5D's, the 3 Emperors of the After. That event is come back around from December last year, come back around with a brand new art card, Dark Highlander, and a brand new skill for Aporia and for Primo. So that's pretty straightforward. Now, this is actually a little bit interesting because usually in April, we get a completely brand new Duelist Road / Duelist Chronicles event. This time's the first time in a few years now where we've not had that. So that's a little bit spicy, and you know, why could they be doing this? We'll talk about that in a second. Let's go to Dark Highlander first of all, a level 7 synchro. Neither player can synchro summon. This is a pretty hard counter to Harpy Ladies. If you can make it turn 1, really good. If you make it turn 3, not gonna be that great. Of course, they can just summon a Malevolent Sin, banish this, synchro summon, and then they're fine. So really, it's a little bit rough, right? Once per turn, you can target one monster your opponent controls that is equipped with an equip card. Destroy all equipped cards your opponent controls equipped to that monster. If you do, inflict 400 damage to your opponent for each one. It's going to be 200 of course because burn damage is now halved in Duel Links. That effect isn't really relevant. You're mainly using this for that Floodgate effect, and if we get a Duelist, the Turbo Duel GP, then maybe this card will be insane, because in that event, people do kind of tend to cater more towards playing synchros, right? Rather than just playing anything. They do still play Gnome Level and Sin, all these kind of Xyz decks, but in general, you'll see more because of casual anime fans, and this card might be kind of good in that format. So that could shake up the game a little bit, but won't really do too much. Back to Duel Links, we have the big one, Mission Circuit. Yeah, okay, no. The big one is late April, a brand new character will appear in Duel World. I'm taking your monster. This, the community right now believes, is going to be Paradox from the Bonds Beyond Time movie, the 5D's movie from back in 2010, I think it was, which is really cool, because I didn't think they would do that. Now, it could be someone completely different, right? But the I'm taking your monster quote specifically, in Japanese, when you Google that quote, the first image that comes up is Paradox, a scene from the movie. So maybe that's kind of a big hint to that. Now, could there be any other characters it could be? I've seen people say Jim, because Jim does have some cards, like Fossil Fusion, I think, steals the monster from your graveyard to Fusion Summon, which I would really like. But I think it might be, you know, I think they're having Duelist Chronicles 5Ds, and then Aporia coming, and then this roaming. I think that all makes sense, right? They do like to kind of chain events together, and if they're related, which these characters are, then that makes sense. Now, the big thing is what they will do for his cards, right? Because if you go and search for Malefic, you'll see that we have literally all of his cards in the game, bar 2, Malefic Cyber End and Malefic Paradigm Dragon. Now, I think that means he's just going to be more of a generic dark machine focused character, right? And then when he comes out, we'll get a mini box, or main box, probably mini box, right? That supports the Mechlor stuff again. I think that will make sense because they are tangentially related. I think that makes sense. But also, you've got to think, if they're bringing him out, then they're going to want to, you know, eventually reprint these cards, right? Obviously, this is not an unlock, right? This is a roaming event, but when its unlock does come, they're going to want to reprint Stardust, or Parallel Gear, or Rainbow Dragon, or Blue Eyes, or Malefic Territory, because otherwise, people aren't going to really invest in this character. And so that could either be a structure deck, or it could be a selection box mini giving all these cards in. I think, personally, the selection box mini makes more sense. I think they will want to have, you know, have him actually have at least something Malefic related, right? And these two cards are actually good, right? Cyber End is really good, and Paradigm Dragon can also be pretty fun, but like, he will probably come with more generic machine, field spell support cards, right? And so I'm looking forward to seeing what they do. If it is indeed Paradox, I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do, because now everything starts to in my brain make sense, right? The Wave Duel Scramble event is an event where you duel against characters from the different animated series. What happened in Bonds Beyond Time? DM, GX, and 5D's all collided together and had a movie. So I think that the Wave Duel Scramble event will be the perfect backdrop to make a Paradox Unlock event when it does come around. Eventually, right? In June-ish, probably around that time, I think that makes kind of sense to bring that event back. It's, 2 months away, whatever, 3 months away. So yeah, very, very cool if that is what it is. If it's Jim, very, very cool. But I think personally, Paradox just makes sense for it to be, and getting a movie character that technically is canon to 5Ds is really cool. Then for the last big thing for the month is, of course, a new Legendary Duelist. Hey everyone, my show is about to start. This, of course, is Sora Arc 5. He left the game like yesterday, and he's coming back as an unlock in late April. We know this because the quote is exactly the same as the one from his roaming event, and this is quicker than expected, right? 1 month time frame between the roaming and the unlock. Fluffles are a deck that they can sell in a main box. I would have thought, personally, they would have gone for a mini box, because I think people are more likely to invest in a deck if it's in a mini, especially one that's anime themed, right? Yutos, Kites, all did really, really well, sales-wise, because they were good, well, they were decent for what they were, and they're in a mini. Fluffles could be the exact same, but Fluffles are, I think, a much bigger archetype than those, so this does make sense. But overall, actually no, a big thing with this, this is the first April character unlock we've had since 2018. Maybe even 2017, I can't confirm that one, but in 2018, there was no April unlock. 2019, no April unlock. 2020, no April unlock. 2021, no April unlock in terms of new unlockable characters. We had roaming events, sure, right? Last year, I think, was Dark Dimensions Joey, if not the year before, I think. And so, that is kind of crazy, right, when you think about it. That is kind of crazy that we're getting our first April unlock in so long, in 5 years, and so damn long. Maybe Konami are now thinking, let's just give a character away every month. Why not? If the game is going down in popularity, and eventually the plan is to sunset the game at some point, not anytime soon of course, but that makes sense. Now's the time to keep bringing in characters to keep the current player base engaged with your game, right? If you're getting less and less new players, you want to keep the players you already have, and this is a good way to do it. So overall, I think this is a very, very good month. For a KC Cup month, it's very, very good. Of course, any other month it would have been just okay, but I can, for Paradox, for getting Sora so quickly, I think this will be a pretty good month for Duel Links. Of course, KC Cup means it's a little bit disappointing, and there's not much to do, but if you're a Master player, then we're getting brand new cards on April 4th, the day before the KC Cup starts, so if you do want to play that game, go and play that game for a little bit, and then come back to Duel Links. But yeah, let me down below what you think. If you think the new character is Paradox or someone completely different, let me down below. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you all in the next Duel Links video. See you then.